Hey, it's Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and
Sex.
And today we're going to be talking about the 3 foundations of game, but more so it's our 100th episode.
Woohoo!
Which is really crazy.
I feel like I need a party horn or something.
How long have we been doing this?
Like
it's not been that
4
long.
months?
4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
Maybe it's easier because a lot of our stuff, what we knew we didn't want was a 30 minute, hour, 2 hour.
4 hour.
We don't have that much time.
There's some long podcasts out there.
We don't have that much time, and our guys
we didn't have any of that much interest in.
What we try to do is deliver actionable, pertinent information that
Evergreen.
will help you move forward.
Yeah.
And it's why we do what we do.
Yes.
I mean, this is a good, because we develop our philosophy over time, and we kind of know this from fitness. Mm-hmm. With fitness, the more you write about it, the more you shoot videos about it, the greater your depth of understanding. We found that to be the same thing with game and coaching people into relationships. Mm-hmm. Is we go to the next level. It allows us to go and literally at this point, it's all we think about.
Yeah, and talk about
and do. And so the 100th episode is foundational, and we want to kind of walk through the 3 essential components of game in the general and get down to a little bit more specific to help you move a girl who's a stranger to in your bed, and preferably within 3 to 4 hours. That's an ideal, you can know the girl kind of. Everything just makes it easier.
Yeah.
What would you say the goal for you is?
Well, I've always said that, we want people to feel more confident doing what they're doing because everybody wants to have better sex and everybody wants to have better relationships. If and I say if because we do, if we can help these, more people have better relationships and better sex, literally everyone wins. So that's...
And from the feedback we've gotten, this is good, actionable, workable information. We know game works.
Yeah. When
it's used properly, And from the feedback we've gotten, people are getting good results, Yeah. None of this stuff is theory. All of it's already confirmed on the ground.
Yeah. It's exciting. We're excited. And we're excited about our 100th episode. And we're bringing the energy.
Well, so let's talk about number 1. The 3 components: mindset, which is everything inside your inner brain, your brain; mechanics, which is everything from you approaching her, your online game, all the way up to you're taking her into the bedroom.
Yeah, the business end of things.
Yeah, the actual physical logistics and the mechanics, basically everything that it's encompassed in the physical world. And then there's sex.
Sex.
Bunny's specialty.
My favorite topic.
And so mindset, you have to start with mindset because if without mindset, all the game in the world falls flat. It starts with an irrational self-confidence.
Yes.
And irrational self-confidence is overconfidence. Because in game, unlike a lot of things, you can't become an engineer without actually going to school and becoming an engineer. Mm-hmm. But with game, you can fake it till you make it.
Yes.
If you know what you should be doing. If you know the principles or learn charisma, if you know the lines and the philosophy and where your mind should be, you can pull this off without having a background of success.
Yeah. And Chateau Heartiste, I think, is one of the best classic, tried and true writers on this topic. And just developing your inner game and your inner confidence so that you can build better relationships and communications with women.
Oh yeah, and that was why from the very beginning, those were our first 2 foundational books on my side.
Right.
Was the best of Chateau Heartiste 1 and the best of Chateau Heartiste 2.
Because you spent years reading him and then and studying what he's talking about. and applying it. And so it was great for you who had such intimate knowledge of so much of his writing to say, listen, this is the most important stuff. This is what really is the most actionable. And then you were able to compile that so that other people could just, it's almost like the Cliff Notes version.
Exactly.
But it's still the full writings. So
Exactly.
it's a win-win.
Yeah. You get all the information. And, and again, it very much starts off with analyzing yourself.
Yeah.
Where you're at right now. And then going from there, you can see your strengths and weaknesses right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's a self-diagnosis. And then getting into the mindset and just the mechanics over time. But he wrote it, and I spent, 1 to 2 hours a night for 2 years studying this and applying it on the ground. And it works.
And you came from a foundation of self-improvement. Whenever you are in fitness, whenever you're an entrepreneur, you just naturally are in a space that's all about self-improvement. And so it was a familiar topic in kind, but it was like a step removed because, like you've said, it's kind of a different language. Game has its own lingo.
Very much so.
And so there was still a learning curve to it.
Yeah.
So we try to help eliminate
Flatten that learning curve.
Yeah. Flatten the curve.
Seriously, because I spent probably 2 months trying to figure out, I would read until I found a word that I did not know what it was.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
And then I could go forward. And again, a lot of this, it's changing your mind, or your mind kind of changes over time on how you see things, because, we do away with the pretty little lies. Ugly truths are revealed. The secrets of the sisterhood are revealed.
Yeah.
And but the good thing is you can look back with Game and go, and you can look at your relationships and how girls reacted to you in the past. You go, oh.
It's like light bulbs go off
Yeah, you
right
start
and
going,
left.
oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
You like, say you started out kind of like not being that interested in a girl, and she's chasing you, and you guys hook up, and then you start liking her, and then you kind of start kissing her ass, and then
she stops liking you.
She cheats on you. And people go, oh.
Yeah.
No wonder. I ran her off.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys go, I don't know where she went.
Yeah.
And so you'll start seeing, the veracity of it is confirmed if you look at your history, or you look at like how people act in the real world.
I think that's the most fascinating part of learning Game is seeing how it was being applied or repelling the people in your life before you kind of learned what you were doing.
Exactly.
And learned how to do it better.
And that's the mindset. It's just,
and like we always say, just by being here, we know you're working towards progress.
Yeah, you're in the top. We say top 1%. If you're here.
Yeah.
Because the vast majority of people don't know this stuff even exists.
It's like with fitness. You don't have to have arrived for it to be effective.
Yeah, we should make that point. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be in shape. Mm-hmm. You may be working on your how you dress.
Yeah.
But none of that stuff actually matters as long as you're in process.
Yes.
Moving in the right direction. It goes a
long way. And, that is exactly why in 2018 I wrote that Irrational Self-Confidence book, with the Self-Confidence with Women handbook, because I was running into a lot of guys who were not quite confident because they were in the middle. They saw that they needed to make changes. They were working towards making changes, but they hadn't arrived where they felt like they should be to be, 6'6", jacked and tanned or whatever, making $1 billion. They weren't there yet. Go figure. So there were some tools that I laid out for them consistently in consults that I went, you know what? More people need to read this. More people could utilize this. And some of it's fake it till you make it. Some of it's changes that you can make over time that will, all told, build your self-confidence, and you're no longer faking anything. It's really there.
Mechanics on the ground.
Yeah.
And we start You know, you got to meet them somehow.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, online dating is usually one of the easiest ways. And guys do it wrong when they don't set up their profile properly. Or if they do, they don't actually move the girl quickly from online to offline, which is the only purpose of online dating is to get her in front of you.
Yeah, guys are real guilty of
They don't know.
of becoming texting buddies.
Exactly.
And I get it. Like I get it. You get in a conversation and sometimes it's just you think you're going to, if you back out of the conversation or if you make her wait a little bit, she's going to lose interest, when actually it's the opposite.
Tell me about your online dating book.
My Magic Bullet online dating profile handbook is fucking awesome. It mainly focuses on making sure that you're setting up the best online dating profile that can work on any of the platforms. You know, I wrote it originally in 2018. I revised it in 2022. So it's current. I tell you what kinds of pictures to use, what order to use the pictures, why you're doing all this, because I don't want you to just blindly follow. I want you to understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, how to go about building the written part of your profile, you know, all the things that matter to women, because you're not writing your online dating profile for other guys, and men tend to write their profiles kind of like they are applying for a job, and that's the wrong mindset to have. You're writing these to attract the women that you most desire. And so that's what I want to help you do.
Perfect. And then once you get them on the hook, you got to get them in front of you.
Yes, you do.
And then you have to have a dating system.
Yes.
And we have your dating system available. You know, it's just like moving them basically from setting up the date properly, confirming the date properly, so you're not standing around wasting your time flaking. Uh-huh. You know, early frame announcement, you know, how you carry yourself coming into the date, all the way through how to pay, everything all the way up into, you know, hey, I've got a midget at my apartment and you want to meet him? And you move her from there to your place.
Literally, it takes the inner game, it takes the mindset, it puts it
into play,
and it's the middle ground between mindset and sex.
And the interesting thing is this is where most guys fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Is they could do well, but two things. One, they talk her out of it. And two, they have bad logistics.
Yeah.
They're 30 or 45 minutes away from their place.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things that guys go, God, this just isn't working for me. And literally they're taking her to like the loudest fucking bar you've ever been in. It's a sports bar.
Yeah.
And they can't hear each other. And she's like brain dead from the noise. And she can't hear anything.
Right.
And they're still an hour away from his house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to work. A lot of this is covered in your dating system.
Yeah.
Which helps you pick a good spot or pick good spots.
Yeah.
Get your logistics right, which makes it seamless.
Well, and let's talk about how guys tend to talk girls out of it. More than just, I mean, that's a good example of how they talk themselves out of it, in that they just don't set the date up well in logistically, which talks us out of sleeping with you. But also, you know, they talk too much about themselves. A girl's favorite topic is herself. She'll think you're the most interesting man in the room by just asking her questions that get her talking about herself. It's ridiculous. What are some other ways that you've seen on the ground, or you've seen guys mess up talking themselves?
You have the things you avoid.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing what to avoid will solve 90% of your problems.
Absolutely.
Avoiding politics, avoiding any female equality questions.
Yeah.
Avoiding medical issues.
Yes.
Avoiding divorce. I mean, we give you the phrases to work with.
Yeah.
You know, when there's a divorce involved, they're going to ask.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to want to know. They're going to know how long you've been divorced, whatever. But there's ways of like diverting this and looking very mentally healthy, no matter where you're at, you know, and that you can come off and it becomes a non-issue. And girls like that. They want things to just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're really looking, I know this sounds horrible, before you meet, they're looking for a reason to not meet up.
Yeah.
But these girls, you got to know, going into a date, she's found a babysitter.
Yeah.
She's taken a shower. She's bought an outfit.
Yeah.
She might have bought shoes. She's done her hair. She's done her makeup.
Literally, it takes us about 2 days to prepare for a first date with someone that we're actually excited about.
Yeah, and the prep time's probably, 2 hours?
Done
properly?
At least.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And she told her friends,
She actually wants you to win.
She wants you to do well on this.
Yeah. She's rooting for you.
Yeah, it's the very rare girl looking for problems once they get in front. Before they get in front of you, they're looking for reasons not to show up.
Yeah.
Not your problem.
On the apps, and that's why you move her off the apps as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and we show you how to avoid those problems. But then once you get her in front of you, she's actually rooting for you.
Yeah.
She wants you to
really
do well.
Is.
Because she'd like this to be her last first date.
Bottom line. Bottom line.
So that's what we do with the mechanics. And then once you get her back to your place, let's talk about the next step.
Sex, sex, sex. We want you to fuck like a porn star. We want you to fuck like it's her last fuck and yours. We want you to have the time of your life. We want you to have all the confidence in the world and set you up for ultimate pleasure and success.
And if you don't have a lot of experience, how do you do that?
Well, I like to recommend my Fuck Like a Porn Star book series that is growing growing like an erect penis. But really, Fuck Like a Porn Star, the original, link down below. It is informational. It's written in a way that if she sees it, she won't get offended because it's written for men and women in a sense. But mainly, my goal is to help men understand what feels the best to girls, why it feels the best to girls. And this isn't because I feel like you need to focus on her pleasure. It's because if she's getting maximum pleasure from you, she will serve you better and she will be locked in on your cock. And that is what you want. That's the goal. She needs to be fucked like it's her last fuck, and then you'll only get rid of her if you want to.
Yeah. And there's two types of selfish. There's guys that are, girls like selfish guys. That are all about themselves, even in bed. But there's one set that she gets nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And the other one, she's getting maximum enjoyment out of your enjoyment.
Yeah, because you'll become the butt of a joke if you had a great time in bed and she got zero out of it.
So we show you how to be in the second category.
Yeah.
The one where she's like, he didn't give a fuck. And I loved every minute of it.
It was amazing. Yeah. I've never come so hard.
And girls work off referrals too.
Yeah,
they start telling their friends, and their friends go, I want to know what that's like.
Yeah.
You don't put it past them. They'll come at you if they have a good referral.
Oh, absolutely.
It happens all the time.
And you can help keep them in line. I've got the squirt book as well.
Yep.
How to make a girl squirt. I've got a book on threesomes coming out, which is all about sharing and the fun that comes there. And keeping these girls in line, keeping them in your rotation. Forward Playboy has a rotation book about building and maintaining a rotation of girls, whether that's 2 girls or whether it's a harem.
Exactly.
It's workable either way. And classic dread, because dread helps keep girls a little bit off kilter, which is a good thing in the way that then they don't get to be too confident and cocky and lazy, because confident, cocky women turn out to be lazy women when it comes to relationship, and then you can't stand her.
And dread is also applicable to our married guys.
Yeah.
Who have dead bedrooms.
Yeah.
There's a way out of this that you can get the fun, feminine, sexy wife that you wanted, that you
were once married to.
We can turn that around with dread, and we have a step-by-step method of doing that within that book.
Yeah. Well, and the bottom line is, all of this information, maybe short of fuck like a porn star, are applicable to all levels of interactions with the opposite sex. I mean, I think that's where game kind of gets a bad rap, other than people, number one, think it's manipulative. But the bottom line is, it helps with your interactions with coworkers that are female, whether they be bosses, whether they be peers, whether they be under you. It helps with interactions with complete strangers. It'll help you understand better why your mother's the way she is. It helps you better respect your grandmother. You name it. It wins across the board for you to better understand how women operate and why we do the things that we do, so that you can better do the things that you do. And so you can have your best quality of life, but also sexiest quality of life.
Perfect.
Thank you.
It's 100. That's the 100th podcast.
100th podcast. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, baby.
And we look forward to another 100.
Yes, we do.
And this thing, how many minutes did this take?
21.
That's not bad. That's our longest one so far. We had a lot to cover. Everything else is a little bit shorter.
It was celebratory. People
Very
are
much
forgiving of parties.
If you guys like this video, like it, share it, comment below. We want to know how we've helped you, how we can help you.
What you'd still like to hear from us.
Yeah. Any topics that are not covered, that you're running into problems or like roadblocks or speed bumps, and we can address those things over time.
Absolutely. We've got 100 topics under our belt, and yet we've got a whole list of probably 20 more. I mean, just off the cuff right now. So we're not slowing down. We're excited to be here, and we are so grateful to all of you. We want you to win. Bye.